So you're a professional. Well, you're not professional. You're a comedian.
Yes, I'm an impersonator for Boris Johnson. Sorry, fine. I'm a professional impersonator for Boris Johnson. Unfortunately, work doesn't come often enough in the year. You know, I'm lucky if I manage to get 2 or 3 jobs in the space of 6 months. You know, I enjoy the work and I'm glad for what it pays, but in an ideal world I would be doing it 4 times a month, you know, earning about £1,000 and then not having to be on disability benefits. But the fact is I claim disability benefits not because I want to, but because I have to, because the rest of the year there's no money coming in. I have no income. You know, I've got to be able to pay rent, so obviously I claim housing benefit as well as my incapacity benefit in DLA. It's not that I want to sponge off the system, unlike certain politicians that claim expenses for duck houses and whatnot. I claim this because I need to. You know, and as I've said to other reporters today, you know, I'll make it very clear and sincere to the nation, to the world if I have to. David Cameron doesn't care about disabled people. He may have had a disabled child, but in the face of his policies that means nothing. He doesn't care about disabled people.
What do you think about David Cameron claiming DLA as being a rich person?
Well,
for his child.
The fact that DLA isn't means tested often makes it a good thing, I would say. It doesn't necessarily mean that people who earn hundreds of thousands a year should claim it. You know, it makes the system that much harder for those who genuinely need it. When people like Cameron are going and doing that. You know, and again, that's sad. Of course, there might have been other reasons that he claimed it for his son, but obviously it's just the height of hypocrisy for him to go and endorse this kind of push down, this kind of mutilation, this eugenics program by Atos to essentially help the disabled of this country do nothing other than eliminate themselves, you know, take their own lives or work far too hard on schemes like workfare that they shouldn't be considered able to be part of.
What do you think is going to happen to you next year as Atos take over the DLA?
Have they actually been given the contract?
I think they're going to be.
I mean, that's just utterly sickening, I find, and I am fortunate that my reapplication was just this summer, and that was to reapply for my award to continue from this November, and they are choosing to award it permanently. Now, the trouble there, of course, is do they mean permanently as long as DLA exists? Do they mean perhaps that it's only permanent until personal independence payment comes in and then the rules entirely change because George Osborne needs another ivory back scratcher?
Yes. Are you afraid of becoming homeless, of homelessness because of these assessments?
It's not something I'm having to worry about at the moment, but I feel just awful for the sort of people that are having to face that kind of destitution and poverty because of this, you know, and it's clearly something that's utterly ignored by the government, that this kind of widespread indignity is going on. It's the height of immorality.
Do you think it's misdirection, especially during the Paralympic Games?
I think the Paralympics are potentially being used by the government as a misdirection instrument. You know, it's an attempt to say, look what disabled people can do. Well, these are disabled people that have had chance at life, and God bless that chance, because it's a great thing that they get to do this. But majority of disabled in this country don't, especially those with non-visible disabilities. Most of us are treated like second-class citizens.
Well, it's nice meeting you,
Thank you very much.
Boris. What do you call that thing in small Boris? What do you call him? Mini Boris. Mini me.
Well, to be honest, I mean, the thing that's made symptoms of my depression come back this week is the feeling that I've gone through most of my life being not really anything. I graduated university 8 years ago. 8 years ago? Yeah, 8 years ago. And I haven't secured full-time work since then. The last full-time job I had was caring for a disabled person shortly after I graduated, and he died a month after I was into the job, and my job prospects just slid from there. And obviously they've been still lessened by the fact that while I'm on incapacity benefit, it's hard to find much work experience at all, much as I do volunteer and such. So, I'm not really, people might say I'm not really a graduate. People may say I'm not really other things. Atos want to say that I'm not really disabled. The reality is I'm not really Boris Johnson, so I don't have his kind of life. I don't have his kind of safety net and wealth that would protect me in case Atos decided that I'm not really disabled. And, I'm not really happy with the way that David Cameron has treated disabled people, and is now, going on TV ahead of the Paralympics and saying that these games will help change attitudes towards the disabled. The way attitudes change towards the disabled, David Cameron, is by you changing your attitudes and your cabinet changing your attitudes. Start caring about disabled people, because at the moment it looks like you don't.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.